Now to rock out some raspberry tarts, all you need is some cake and pastry flour, apple cider vinegar, measuring cup for water, 1 egg, salt, tender flake lard, butter, sugar, and you're ready to rock! Okay, looks like I got everything I need to make pie crust. I've never done this before, not that I recall. So, all new for me. And I kind of remember what my mom would say. I don't have her exact recipe, but I know the things that she mentioned, like using ice water, which I'll be using in the measuring cup, vinegar, I think that cuts down on the gluten, whatever. And she always used cake and pastry flour opposed to all-purpose flour. And I looked online for certain things. She always said use tender flake. Much better than lard. The tender flake apparently makes it flakier, so we'll find out. But online, a lot of people use butter, so I want to put a bit of butter into this mixture. And some salt, some sugar, because that apparently makes it brown. On this tender flake box here, they say to use an egg. I don't know. No one else mentioned that, but I thought, I'll try anything. I'll throw it all together, all the things I heard and read, and try and make this pie dough work. So first thing, add your flour to the bowl, 2.5 cups. And with cake and pastry flour, I noticed they asked for a little bit more, so I added just a bit more than a half. So there's 2 and, 3/4 cups of cake and pastry flour in there. Then we're going to add some salt. It says a teaspoon, so there you go. That'll work. Now, and a bit of sugar. And there's some sugar, a teaspoon of sugar. You mix up all that dry ingredients like so, and that's the first step. Okay, now we're ready to add the shortening and the butter into the flour mix. So first off is 2/3 of a cup of shortening. And just cut it into cubes, like so. Like that, like little cubes, like so. You don't want them too fine. You throw it into the floury mixture. Well, that was simple enough. Thanks to the Tender Flake box, they show you the measurements right there. I don't know if that's zooming in on that. But it shows you all the different measurements, and you can line it up and cut it and be exact without trying to shove it into some measuring cup. That'd be fucking hell. So that was much easier to do that. Now all I need is to add the butter. So now we're going to add the butter, 6 tablespoons it says here, which is probably 1/4 cup of butter. So I'm going to cut that. These have to be chilled in the fridge. They have to be cold. The butter and the lard, or whatever you want to call it, has to be cold. You cut it into cubes, and not too small of a cube, so they say, because the rougher it is, the more flakier the crust is, apparently. So we're going to add that to the mixture here, just like that. And I have no idea if this is going to work. There, so now I have the butter and the tender flake added to the flour. Now it's time to mix it with this little old-fashioned pie dough mixer thingy. This is what my mom always used. So, and you just go like so. Just like that, all the way around, just like the old days. People use food processors, but apparently it doesn't make the dough that flaky, because you're making the butter cubes and everything too small. So apparently it's not the best idea. It's better to do it the old-fashioned way like this. And this is how my mom did it. Her pie crusts were amazing, and don't forget she won first prize at the fair, so there must be something to it. So you want to do this until it resembles oatmeal, kind of like a crumbly oatmeal, so they say. So far so good. So there you go. I'm not too sure if you can see that, but it's kind of crumbly, like an oatmeal kind of a texture. That's how they describe it. Now we're going to add the wet ingredients. Okay, there we go. Now, according to what I have written down, it's 1/2 cup of ice water. Well, I have some chilled water here, good enough. And some vinegar, all equaling to 1/2 cup. But on the tender flake thing, they mentioned an egg. But that was for 6 cups of flour. So should I dare put this into this mixture? It kind of sounds intriguing, but I might fuck it up. But it might be good. What do you think? I don't know. How much is a half a cup? Pretty much a whole egg. Almost a whole egg. Oh, I don't know if I should do it. I better not. It's tempting, but fuck. What does an egg do anyways? Should I or shouldn't I? Interesting. Let's try it. Well, here goes nothing. I'm gonna stick the egg in here. I probably just totally destroyed the pie crust just by doing this. But maybe not. We might be surprised. Well, there's the egg. Now, apparently, some apple cider vinegar. I'm not sure what the hell that does, but we'll find out. Easily put that in there. I remember my mom mentioning vinegar too. So we'll stick that in there like that. And now time to add the water up to the half cup mark, I'm assuming. Just like that. Then we're going to mix that up and add it to the dry mixture. Now there's probably some pie makers out there going, what the hell did he do? He put the fucking whole egg in the half measurement of the mixture? It's crazy. Or you might be thinking, hey, good idea. I don't know. What does the egg do? We'll find out. They want 1 egg for 6 cups of flour. So why can't you put 1 egg in, seems liquidy enough. Will it really harm the pie crust? That's good. Well, I can't see how. Could it? Okay, first we're going to add 6 tablespoons to the mixture here. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and we're going to blend that together and then repeat. Okay, now let's mix the remaining liquid concoction into the flour. And you do not want to overwork, they claim. You must treat it with love and tenderness. I can't wait to try this. It's going to be awesome. Yeah, just mixing that up. Don't want to overwork it. Don't want to kill it. Treat it with love and tenderness. So you don't want it to be sticky. You just want it to be moist, right? So that's what I'm doing. And so far, it's looking pretty good. I just want to get a spoon or a spatula, scrape along the bottom, make sure there's no dry ingredients, that it hasn't been affected by the liquid ingredients. We want it all to be blended together, obviously. So that's what I'm doing now. And it's starting to look like dough. Yeah, so it's kind of crumbly, and it's not sticky, it's moist, and I squeeze it, and it's dough. I think I did it. I think I'm on the right track. Now it's time to form the dough ball itself. So you lightly flour your surface that you're going to put the dough onto, countertop, cutting board, whatever. And you lightly flour your hands, like so, and your rolling pin, obviously, because you don't want it sticking, correct? So yeah, this is all very strange because I've never done this before. So I'm going to get the dough, take it out of the bowl, obviously, place it on my lightly floured surface, and gently form the dough ball. So you just gently, with love. Every time you make a pie, it's Valentine's Day. Remember that. You must make it with love because you don't want it to squish it together. I don't know why. That's what they say. I guess it affects the flakiness, perhaps. So there's the dough. Now, according to one girl, she rolled that out. Put flour on top. You roll it out with tenderness and love. Just gently roll it out into a rectangular shape. Don't worry if it's cracking and stuff like that. You can just mend it back together. And so she rolled that out for a bit to a certain thickness. Then, and if it breaks apart, just stick it back together like that. I don't know if you can see that, but that's what I'm doing. Roll it out. How many times do I have to say that? Then, once you roll it out, you're going to fold it. You're going to fold it in half or in folds. I'm going to fold it halfway, then the other halfway in like this. Apparently this makes it flaky. I don't know. We'll find out. This is all new to me. So I'm going to roll that out like that. Maybe I was supposed to fold it one more time. I don't know. Something like this. I have no clue. This is crazy. But so far it's looking good. It looks like pie crust, so that's one good sign, right? So there we go. There it is. I think I need some more flour on this working surface here. Lightly floured again so it doesn't stick. Put the flour, the dough back onto the flour. Lightly flour the top of that so it doesn't stick. Same with the rolling pin. And now we're going to roll it out. Fuck, do you roll it out or make a ball? Oh shit. I think you rolled it out. I fucking don't know. You rolled it out. And then they made a ball? I think they did this. They rolled it out. They rolled it out like I'm doing. And I think the girl made another fold like so. And I think she cut it in half, because one half of this will make the bottom part of the pie, or I'm just going to be making tarts, only the bottom part of the tart. But so, technically I guess I should have some left over. Why do I even have to cut it in half? Because I'll probably have some left over. So I guess I'll cut it in half. Okay, I got my knife, cutting it in half. And I'm going to be making two separate dough balls. Well, not balls actually. You want to make a disc, a dough disc. So you just do this with your hands, like so. Don't overwork it. I gotta tell myself that. Don't overwork it, love it. Be gentle, make love to it. Like so. And you just want to form a disc, apparently. So when you go to, so now we gotta chill this in the fridge for like 2 hours or overnight. So I'm gonna do it overnight. That's what my mom did, so I'll be doing it overnight as well. So I'm going to make a disc so when it comes to rolling it out to work a pie crust or the tarts, it'll be much easier. That's what they claim. So there's one, here's two. I'll be getting some saran wrap, wrapping these up, put them in the fridge overnight, and then we shall continue this process of making these raspberry tarts that were a common thing in my family for Valentine's Day. Oh man, but you just missed me dropping these on the floor. What a fucking retard. Anyways, well maybe it'll make them flakier, who knows. So I'm going to stick these in the fridge before I totally destroy everything. And then we'll continue tomorrow and see if we can make some raspberry frickin' tarts. Okay, it's day 2, the dough is chilled, and let's make these raspberry tarts. Okay, here goes nothing. We're going to unwrap the dough that was chilled in the fridge overnight, and preheated the oven to 350, and I pre-greased the mini muffin pan that the tarts will be going in there. I just greased it with butter, because that's what some people did online. You could use lard as well, I'm sure. So here goes. Oh, first of all, you want to lightly flour your working table. Not too much because you'll dry out the dough with too much flour. Just lightly flour the surface, place your dough on top of that. Lightly flour your rolling pin. And roll it out. So it's fairly thin, and it seems kind of hard to do when it's chilled, but you just keep working at it like they do on the other videos that I've seen. And if the edges crack, you just stick it back together like that. Don't worry about it. No, they kept flipping it over all the time on the videos I've seen. I guess, well, it doesn't stick to the surface, but I don't really know if it's really necessary. You want to roll it fairly thin, not too thin, but not too thick. This is really a pain in the ass just for some tarts. Holy fuck. Just buy them at the store. I think when people bake, it's just to brag, look what I made, it's fantastic. And I don't think anyone really appreciates the work that goes into it. They just gobble it up and say thanks, and that's about it. But I don't think they really appreciate the effort and the work that goes into making this shit. Is it really worth it? Let's hope so. Okay, well, I don't know. That might be the right thickness. Who knows? Seems like it. So you want to use some cookie cutters. Something that's just a bit more round than the actual circumference of the muffin tin, I'm assuming. This one is almost the same size, just a bit bigger. This one's fluted, which means rippled edge. Gives a little more decor to the edge. Pretty common with tarts. I'll try that first, see if that's going to be the right circumference. So here goes nothing. I'll press away in here. I'll test this one out first to see if it actually fits into the pan. Okay, let's see if this goes in there. Looks pretty cool. Stick it in the hole gently. And it's a bit small. You kind of want the edges to stick up a bit higher, but so I'll use the bigger cookie cutter, but I'll live with that one for now. So let's hope this will be a better fit. Okay, let's see how this goes. Stick that in there like so. It's going in pretty good. It's a bit higher. It'll work. There you go. Cool, not bad. Okay, I got them all filled in except for one, and luckily I got a bit left over here, which is great. So actually, half of that recipe that I gave you will do 24 tarts. That's pretty good. That's pretty cool. So I can make tarts again another day with the other half. So lucky I did cut it in half. Not like it's really crucial or nothing, but it just helps out. So with the remaining scraps, just form another little ball like that. Roll it out so you can make another, the last remaining tart. And if you got even a bit more left over, make a turnover, you know? Roll it out, shove some apples, some sugar, cinnamon, whatever you want. Maybe some caramels as well. Make a little apple turnover with the remaining dough. You would think by putting this dough in the fridge that it would just be hell to roll it out. You'd think it'd break and fall apart, but surprisingly it doesn't. It cracks the odd time, but you just mend it like I told you. And it's actually really quite simple to work with. Maybe it'd be a lot more stickier if you didn't chill it. So, alright, now for the last little tart to join his friends into the mini muffin pan. Wow! I'm really actually making these. This looks good so far. All ready to fill these shells with jam. And I'm going to use raspberry jam. That's what my mom always used. And I believe her mother used to make these. This is a very British recipe, a very common thing in England to have with tea. So, keeping the tradition, since I am Irish, Welsh, German, royal family is German, you know. They changed their name so people wouldn't know. That's interesting, right? Their last name was something else. It wasn't what it really is. So anyways, let's fill these up. You're just going to use a teaspoon in each shell. Now before you put the jam in, check your tarts. Make sure there's no holes in the bottom and or too thin. And if you do, you just take a little piece of dough and mend it. Just stick it in a little thin area or a hole. And I don't really see that I have that. So I'm good. Now some people brush the pastry with egg to give it a shiny golden finish, but I'm not going to do that. Now you don't want to fill the shells too high with the jam or it'll just overflow while it bakes and make a horrible mess. So just a teaspoon will do. Oh wow, look at that! I did it! I filled all the little shells with the jam. This is turning out pretty good. And I think, before I put this in the oven, I'm going to make that little apple turnover too with the remaining dough. So, never made one of those either, I don't think. This can't be that hard. Apple, cinnamon, sugar, throw it, wrap it up, throw it in the oven, right? Okay, let's see if this works out. Well, my instincts tell me to put a little bit of butter or margarine just on the surface here, inside the turnover. It just seems like a good idea. So now, some brown sugar. Sprinkle it on the bottom. Now some cinnamon. I'm going to put a bit allspice in there. Allspice is always great to add. It's a great flavor. Now I just cut up some apple pieces. I'm going to stick this on top, like that. I got a little dish of water here. I'm going to wet the edges, just so when I fold it over, the dough will stick to each other, like the edges will stick. And I'm assuming that's is a good idea. I don't know if this is really going to cover completely, but let's try, see what happens. Make it a little, not bad, not bad. I'll just pinch the edges. And no, I've never made this before, even though it seems like it. It's just kind of common sense, right? What you should be doing. Pinch the edges so it stays together. And if you get a little hole, mend it with the water. Kind of acts like glue. And hopefully we'll have ourselves an apple turnover. Okay, I got this old cookie sheet which my mom's mother used to use for baking cookies and everything else, and my mom used it, so now I'm going to use it. Why not? And first of all, I'm going to be putting the pastry turnover thingy onto this pan, as well as the tray of tarts. So, but wherever the apple turnover is going to go, you got to grease that up. So it's using some butter. Now before I put this apple turnover into the oven, I'm going to poke the top a little bit with some holes to let the steam out. And it'll be a little decorative as well. Okay, now I'll just place this turnover into the oven first. Then place my awesome tray of tarts on top of that cookie sheet. Okay, now I'm going to set the timer to about 15 minutes, and this should be done, apparently. Probably apple turnover would take a bit longer than that, but I'll take the tarts out at that time. And you know when they're done, when the dough is nice golden brown and fluffy looking, and the jam is apparently bubbling and looks like lava. And don't eat them right away. Let them cool on a wire rack, and then you can enjoy them with tea, coffee, whatever. You can also decorate the top with chocolate, almonds, whatever. There's no rules to baking or cooking. Just be creative. Well, it's been 20 minutes. Let's check them out, see how they're doing. Oh yeah, looking pretty good. I'm going to set these tarts on the cooling rack here. Now I'm not too sure about this apple turnover. Let's give it a poke. See what it feels like. Not exactly flaky crust, but not bad. I think I rolled it too much, but whatever. Well, here's the tarts, all baked. The jam is still boiling hot. And hopefully when they cool down, they'll be great. We'll test them out. Now the tarts have cooled. Now you just want to take a little knife, plastic or a dull, not a sharp edged knife, and just gently go into the edge like so and work them out like that. Now it's time to serve them up. Put them on a nice serving dish. Now look at that awesome apple turnover. And the tarts. That looks amazing on this awesome serving tray. Now you're going to amaze your guests when they come over. Oh yeah, I can hardly wait to try out these tarts. Look at that, eh? Doesn't that look fantastic? What a beautiful display. That's impressive. Now, for the test. Let's see if these are any good. I succeeded. I actually made my mom's famous raspberry tart. It's not really hers, it's all of England's famous raspberry tart. I did it! You know, it's pretty good. You know, I always wanted to do that in honor of my mom's memory. There was just Mother's Day and Valentine's Day just passed. And you're probably wondering, Steve, why the fuck did we just see a Christmas tree? Well, I'm asking myself the same thing. I'm actually filming all this in April. Everything you've seen so far, I started filming in April. And so I had to catch up. So why haven't I taken the Christmas tree down? Because I've been debating about leaving it up all year. I might just change the ornaments to suit the season. Because the whole theme of my house is the woods, animals that live in the woods. And because I love being in the woods. I like anything that's artistic, creative, nature, the woods, all that kind of stuff. It's all kind of everywhere in my house here, like this little fox. I even got a fox in my house. Look at that. And sometimes there's a different kind of fox with 2 legs and a nice pair of tits. Now calm down, calm down. Some of you girls are probably going, what are you talking about? How can you be so rude and disgusting? Well, you know what? This is supposed to be a rock show. You wouldn't believe it or not when I'm baking frickin' tarts and stuff. What does this have to do with rock? Absolutely nothing, but I like it. It's hard to talk with a tart in your mouth. Oh my God. I still have rude thoughts after saying that. You know, I like both kinds of tarts in your mouth. This and the other. And yes, how dare I say something so rude, right? But yay, this is called Road to Rock. You must be a rock fan to tune into this show. And rock, music, and tits, girls, go hand in hand. Well, while I'm trying out these tarts, I might as well try out the apple turnover. Let's see if that turned out. Let's see. Let's take a bite. Oh yeah. Not too bad. Just for a hack job, it's good. Oh yeah. Awesome. Now I'm a baker, I guess. Cool.